Mrs. Wiley says that after 7 years of selfish behavior, lackluster sex, and secret sex tapes, she's ready to close the book on her marriage. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Wiley v. Wiley.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wiley and Mr. Wiley. Welcome to Divorce Court. I'm glad to have you both here, and welcome to Divorce Court, everyone. Today, we have a married couple that have been together for 10 years. They've been married for 7 years. They've built a life together, but Mrs. Wiley says that life is over because she can't trust her husband. Let's see if we can't figure out if it really is over. Mrs. Wiley, why are we in court today?
Well, Judge, I'm here today because I have reached my breaking point. I've had it up to here with this man, okay? He is selfish, he is a cheater, and we don't have a sex life. So I'm here to finalize my divorce today.
You brought papers to court?
I brought papers to court.
Okay, so we are not playing anymore.
Oh, no. That's
Mr. Wiley, you heard what your wife said. What do you say, sir?
I disagree. I'm here to save my marriage. I want to salvage our relationship. She is the love of my life. I am willing to see exactly what I'm here for. Let her know once this lie detector test comes back, to let her know that I have been faithful to her the entire time. I want her to know that I'm the best thing that ever happened to her.
So you are here to fight for your marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
But Mrs. Wiley says it may be a case of
It's too late.
Too little, too late.
It's way too late.
Well, why don't you take me back? Because I'd like to go back to the time when it was some daisies and daffodils and butterflies. How did you all meet? And then what got us to this point, Miss Wiley?
Okay, so we met in church. We grew up in church together.
That's a good place to start.
So, I mean, we grew up, I used to call him names, big ears and stuff, so we didn't really care for each other when we were children. As we got a little older, I guess he started looking at my page, and I had posted some food. I made a 5-course meal. Of course, I can cook. And he shot me a DM. He's like, let me get a plate. I said, okay, yeah, come and grab a plate. He was shocked, and he was laughing. He was like, okay. But he shot me his number, and he was like, hey, probably not today, but another time. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of played around with it a little bit. He chased me for about 6 months. I stood him up twice. Well, I work, I do work, but yeah, I'm a single woman and I look good, so yeah, I made him work for it.
Good for you.
So I had a Halloween party at a bar. He ended up coming up there and we addressed him. We took a little picture and I was like, okay, I thought about it. So then I was like, okay, let me see. So then we actually went out on a date. And then we just started doing some things, you know.
And you dated for 3 years before you got married, right?
Yes, and it was like, I'm not the type to, propose to her and like keep lagging on. I proposed to her and like we got married like maybe a year and a half later.
Okay.
So I didn't take long.
We got married a year and a half after he proposed. He proposed at my sister's birthday, which was really nice and everything, but we did a lot of stuff. I mean, we waited about 7 months or so before we actually moved in together.
What changed?
Oh, so I say about, 3 years ago?
Okay.
His cheating, okay?
Wow.
Emotional, like he's just selfish. He only worries about him. He doesn't care about me or my kids sometimes, I feel like. The lies, he's sneaky. He's really sneaky.
Wow, Mr. Wiley, Mrs. Wiley seems like she has a litany of things that have gone wrong. Why don't we start with selfish? Give me an example of his selfishness.
Okay, well, first example of why he's selfish is I had a major surgery a couple years ago, right? And he knew this. I was like, we need to stack our money, get our papers together because I'm gonna be out for 6 weeks. I cannot move.
How long did you, was this an emergency or did you plan it ahead of time?
No, it had to be emergency because it was like a life or death surgery for me. So
emergency.
Okay.
So
Remember that.
I had to actually do it. So,
okay.
And he knew how important it was. As you can see on the screen, I was out of it.
You were out of it.
Last minute, and we didn't really have an option. Not a lot of people knew, but he was one of them. And I told him, like, hey, let's get this money together. We have to have bills paid. My mom told me, let him be the man and let him be the provider and stuff. So I try to give him the benefit of a doubt.
Had you all been sharing things up until that point? Like you contribute, he contribute, whatever y'all needed to do for the family? Is that the way it worked?
We were in a roommate marriage, so 50-50 is what it was.
Okay, I understand.
So I do have my business, and I did save my money as much as I could. but I had to pay $10,000 up front for the surgery out of my own pocket. He didn't help me pay for that.
Okay.
So that's where like it kind of went from there. So he knew how hard I was working for that. So when like 2 days later of me getting home in bed rest, we had a light bill. I mean, we had the money for most of it, but I guess it was summertime, so it was like a little bit more expensive. I asked him for it, and he didn't have it. And I had to literally go back and do some more clients for my business, in stitches and all, in pain. I'm not even supposed to be standing.
What kind of business do you have?
I have body contouring business, so it's like it's me standing up.
Oh, you mean the kind where you have to
I gotta
manual
push and pull, and
Ooh.
I don't think he understood at all, like how I had to do it by myself, and I'm married to this man, and my mother told me to like let him lead the way, and he let me down.
Mr. Wiley, what happened?
That's not true, Your Honor.
I'm listening.
When she went into this emergency surgery, she was in pain at home. Everybody came over to check
Always
on
in
her.
pain.
And she's been in pain almost since we started dating. I took her to the emergency room on one of our dates.
Okay.
And so
Clearly this was an issue, a health issue.
And so, but this was like off and on, like maybe twice a year or.
Well, this time clearly it became
And
so
so this-
serious that she had to go and have the surgery. I just want to know what happened when it came time to pay bills.
When it was my time to pay bills, I paid bills. She was not back working
Lies.
2 days later. It was like more like a week later.
That is a lie.
I still held everything down for almost 2 months.
Lies. Lies, lies, and lies.
Why is there such a opposite perception of what that time was like?
I had a hysterectomy. I was bleeding out of my body. I had to have help going to the bathroom.
I helped her go into the
So why-
bathroom.
and you-
I slept in the hospital
Why?
with her that night.
I have 3 children to live for. This is a life or death surgery for me.
She survived, all right?
I beg your pardon?
She survived. So when she put everything on my shoulder, I took ahead of it. Yes, it was a little bit of a struggle for me because this was all brand new to me. I still took over everything. I was taking over all the household bills. She
Lies.
wanted me to take over all of her bills on top of mine included.
See, that's where we have a problem, because the 50-50, like, it's not his bills, our bills, it's our bills all the way total.
What I mean by her bills, like she has a car note, I have a car note. That's not part of our household bills.
So
I was paying the mortgage, I was paying cable, I was paying water, I was paying lights.
I had a hysterectomy. I was bleeding out of my body. I can technically not even really move at all. I had to have help going to the bathroom.
I helped her go into the
So why-
bathroom.
and you-
I slept in the hospital
Why?
with her that night when they tried to.
Why is there such a opposite perception of what that time was like?
Because he doesn't get it, because he hasn't had anything major. And like, I have 3 children to live for. This is a life or death surgery for me. Having a hysterectomy is not easy. And being like, the fact that I was in a 5-hour surgery and it was a little bit longer than expected, I can't physically do anything and I feel weak, and that puts me down.
Ms. Wiley, you don't have to justify the kind of surgery. Mr. Wiley, did you understand that she may have been having physical symptoms throughout your relationship, but when a woman goes to the hospital for an emergency hysterectomy?
She survived, all right?
I beg your pardon?
She survived. What my point is, I helped her going to the bathroom. I was waking up in the middle of the night, getting out the bed, actually literally picking her up, taking her to the bathroom every night. I helped her with that. When she was in the hospital, I slept in that uncomfortable couch. I was there. When she got back, I was there every time. I stopped what I was doing to make sure I was there for her.
I really wish I had my phone, because my husband did something particularly nice for me.
Mm-hmm.
He had been working all last week, and he jumped on a plane after being in his courtroom to go and meet me for an important dinner, to jump back on a plane to get back to be in his courtroom. And I sent him a note that said, I thank you so much for doing that for me. And his response was, I don't need credit for stuff I'm supposed to do. My hand to God.
No, well, the reason why I mentioned that, because she mentioned that I wasn't there for her mentally, emotionally, or financially, which I was there for all 3.
but I understand the intimacy is gone, and I'm not surprised.
No, we did not have a sex life, okay?
What does that actually mean, you don't have a sex life?
The lack of sex we had. And, you know, we went on a vacation last year around his birthday.
Remember that.
For Jamaica.
Your birthday.
For my birthday.
Let me finish my story. Thank you. I said, this is your last straw. You better step up the sex game, okay? I think vacay sex is the best sex you should be able to have. You get a little freaky, a little kinky, mess with somebody else's sheets, and then go home. That's what you're supposed to do. So we fly out there. We got rum punches when we get off the plane. Everything's good. He's telling me what things he gonna do to me. So we get back to the room. I brought some sexy stuff too. You know, I brought the mesh, the see-through. I brought a little bit of everything. We get the party started, and what, a minute, 2 minutes later, done. Well, he's done. I'm not. What about me?
Your Honor, this is my 40th birthday. We went to Jamaica. I had to pay my half of the portion of this trip. She did not give me a birthday present. She did not do anything special for me that first night. It's supposed to be for my birthday. This is my milestone birthday. I've been
the two of you very clearly are over it.
I said, let me look at your bank statement. I'm not looking for anything, but I'm like, oh, you went out to eat somewhere. Yeah, me and a couple of coworkers, first he said coworkers, went out. You know, as a woman, we're gonna keep pressing the button and be like, okay, to pull it out of him, it ended up being his ex. A lot of it had to do with the cheating, Your Honor. I'm not gonna lie.
I've been famous since day one, so I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay, so let's start with the date. He went on a date with his ex-girlfriend, okay?
In the middle of your marriage?
No, this is right before marriage. We were engaged.
Okay.
So he calls me and he knows I'm headed to get my hair done. You know that's gonna be a 3-4 hour event. So he's like, are you coming home before you go? I was like, no, I'm just going to go. Got home later, didn't think about it. 2 days later, he was like, oh, something's wrong with my account. I was like, let me look at your bank statements, okay? Let me go through the thing. I'm not looking for anything, but I'm like, oh, you went out to eat somewhere. Oh, this is a little bit more than you spent. Did somebody go with you? Did you pay for somebody? He was like, well, yeah, me and a couple of coworkers, first he said coworkers, went out, and then he proceeded to say, oh, it was one coworker, a female. You know, as a woman, we're gonna keep pressing the button and be like, okay, to pull it out of him, it ended up being his ex. And I'm over here looking at him like he lost his everlasting mind.
The ex just happened to be there. I was there at the bar, and she just happened to be there.
And you just happened to pay for everything, and you just happened to get caught.
No, I did not happen just to pay, because she did send me the money for that. Her card wasn't working or something, I don't know, one of them...
Mr. Wiley, you lied when you didn't have to. It's never the actual act, it's always the conspiracy and the cover-up, always.
He cheated on me in our marriage, too.
Oh, Lord.
I had a coworker reach out to me this time, and I was like, oh, another situation. I have evidence of a woman sending me a text message about my husband, what he did at work for her for Valentine's Day. Granted, I didn't get flowers, I didn't get I love you, I didn't get card, I didn't get
girl,
sex.
Just thought you should know your husband been flirting with my friend. He bought her some beautiful flowers for Valentine's Day. Also, he doesn't wear his ring to work.
And he ain't what?
Just wanted to let you know he ain't, and I can pretty much know what that is.
And you know what? I try not to get upset.
I did not buy this girl any flowers. I did not buy anybody anything. That's why I took a lie detector test.
I don't know who's lying and who's not, but I do know that you submitted to a polygraph examination.
Yes, I did.
Because I'd like to put this to rest once and for all.
Yes, Your
I've
Honor.
asked some very specific questions,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I'd like to get those results. Will you ask the expert to join us, please, Corey?
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mr. Yarborough. Please state your name and professional affiliation.
Certainly. My name is John Yarborough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner, also a member of the American Polygraph Association. I've conducted hundreds of polygraphs for numerous law enforcement and other public safety agencies across the state, as well as professional and private polygraphs.
I actually asked you to put 3 questions to the defendant. At his request, he wanted to willingly submit to a polygraph examination.
That is correct.
The first question I asked you to put to him was, we asked Mr. Wiley, did you engage in any sexual activity with your ex-girlfriend on the night you admitted to going out with her?
I had to modify that question during the interview.
Now that concerns me. What was the modification?
Well, during the pre-test interview, we had a discussion, and during that discussion, I was explaining the definition of sexual contact.
So you wanted to be fair.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you do me a favor for the record and explain the definition for me?
Sexual contact in the context of a polygraph examination includes any type of contact from kissing, fondling, groping, excessive hugging by each party or one of the parties.
So what was the modification of the question?
Well, during the pre-test interview, Mr. Wiley then stated that there may have been activity that would have met that definition of sexual contact. In discussions with him, he said it was one time, so I modified the question to say, other than the one time you mentioned today, have you had any other sexual contact with your ex-girlfriend?
And what was Mr. Wiley's answer?
His answer to that was no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination result indicated there was no deception indicated to the modified question.
So we know.
Did it once.
Don't clap. Don't clap. Don't clap.
He did it once.
Excuse me, don't clap, because the question was modified. That was not the question I put to you. It was modified because of a self-admission. Excuse me. Am I correct, Mr. Yarbrough?
That is correct, Your Honor.
I asked you to put a second question. We asked Mr. Wiley, did you send flowers to that coworker that texted your wife on Valentine's Day?
That is correct.
What was Mr. Wiley's answer?
His answer was no.
What did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was deception to that question.
You see? What? This is what I'm talking about.
There was a third question. We asked Mr. Wiley, in the last 10 years, have you had sexual contact with anyone other than your wife?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Wiley's answer?
Mr. Wiley admitted during that question that there had been multiple times during the 10 years.
You see?
Ms. Yarbrough?
It's a joke.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
It's a joke. How embarrassing is this?
Mr. Wiley, I don't even know why you came to court if you knew good and well that you had self-admitted to violating your marriage, and you knew that your wife was ready to walk out. You knew that,
You
sir.
think I wanted this divorce?
Yes, I think you want this divorce. Yes, I think.
Lower
yes,
your voice.
Ms. Wiley, apologies. Did you bring divorce papers?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to see them. Thank you very much. Oh, wait a minute now.
This is the final decree.
You've already...
I filed last year in October.
You served him, and you have now gotten a final decree of divorce.
Yes. I'm ready.
Would you like me to ask for his signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr.
To sign the
Wiley,
papers.
your wife wants you to sign these papers. She done.
I'm done.
She done, Miss Wiley.
There's no saving it.
Corey, stand by.
So we need.
Thank you very much. Miss Wiley, I don't think I have ever done this, but Corey, I don't need you.
All right.
Corey, please come get Miss Wiley. Walk out of here into your new life, file them papers, and tell this boy to go somewhere.
Thank you.
Pardon me, ma'am.
In my entire time of sitting here, I have never seen somebody say they were fighting for their marriage and they do such dog stuff like this. Miss Wiley, I am sorry for you.
Don't be.
That's my verdict.
Did you get the answers that you were looking for?
I got all the answers I was looking for. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah.
It hurts my feelings to know that I was right about my intuition.
Don't be embarrassed. I mean, you had to do what you had to do.
That's like
you had an intuition for a reason.
It's 10 years of
10
my
years.
life wasted for
That's a
no
lot of
reason
time.
and nothing to show for it.
Well,
Other
now
than
you-
being cheating on me constantly.
It's not time wasted, it's a lesson learned.
May